Okay, this first says evaluate each indefinite integral, and how I'm going to start teaching you about anti-differentiation is we're going to be talking about the power rule. So if you see a function that looks like this, the integral symbol dx, there's an invisible 1 right there. And then you have to ask yourself, what function's derivative is 1? What original function? Well, x is. But this is the process. So we write f of x is equal, we bring down 1x, and then 1 by itself is 1 times x to the 0 power. It's hard to see, but that's what I have there. The power rule says, just like in derivatives, if you take the derivative of x squared, you get 2x, and then that 2 is 2 subtract 1. Well, in antiderivatives, you do the reverse. So it's whatever the exponent is plus 1, but then whatever those two add together, you divide by 1. So let me see if I can. So if you add this, that's that invisible 1, that becomes 1 x to the 0 when we take the derivative, or the integral of it. But we're going to add 1, divide those, add those exponents together, divide by, and then we're going to put plus a capital C there, and I'll explain that in a little bit. So now we get x plus c. The reason why you put a cap, make sure that we can tell it's capital. If not, you will lose points on a test. If it looks like this, you will lose not a lot of points, but you will lose some points if it's not an obvious capital C. That is some constant, because remember, the derivative of a constant is 0. So this original function could have been x plus 5,000. Well, the derivative of 5,000 is 0, so we wouldn't know what that constant is. So that's why you always, on anti-differentiation, on indefinite integrals, you always put that capital C. All right, so that's the result. So here we have 2x, so we're going to do capital F of x is equal. We're going to bring down the 2x. We're going to, that's x to the first. We're going to add 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. So now we divide that by 2. And then look at 2 divide 2 cancels. 1 plus 1 is 2. So now we have x squared plus c. And that should make sense, because what's the derivative of x squared? Remember what I showed you the last video? You've got x squared, the derivative is 2x, the antiderivative is back to x squared. So 3x squared, capital F of x, then 3, 2 plus 1, 2 plus 1 is 3, divide by 3, those cancel, 2 plus 1, so now you have x cubed plus c. So the power rule states, let me cover all this stuff up. It's x to the n, you're going to add 1 and then divide in plus 1 and put that plus capital C. And there could be an A or a B or something attached here. That's fine. That will still stay there. But the power rule says that whatever this original exponent was, you add 1 and then you take that sum and divide that whole thing by that value. All right. I hope that gives you an idea of the power rule. I hope that wasn't too confusing.